Throw away them old recipes. There's a new goulash in town, and boy howdy, is it awesome. I'm not even kidding when I tell you how great this goulash is. Goulash is known for a couple things. One, it's inexpensive to make. Two, it can be mushy so that your grandma ain't even got to put her teeth in to eat it. Another one that has another reputation for me has always been it's bland. Well, if you know Jimmy Dick, you know Jimmy Dick don't do bland. So I came up with this recipe. It took a while to develop, but it's really super good. So I'll have all the ingredients and the recipe down below. Here you see me chopping up a whole onion. This is a white onion. You can use yellow, you can use red. Don't matter. You just need the onion. This is part of the mise en place thing, you know, where you get everything ready together. I've already measured out my spices. I have those in little bitty things, so everything's ready to go. Once I get these vegetables cut up, we're gonna rock this out. This can be made any night of the week. It takes about start to finish, maybe an hour total. But what's more comforting on a cool winter night? Some goulash. Now this recipe also combines, the reason it's so good, it combines different nationalities. So we're going to have Hungarian, obviously, for the goulash. We're going to have some American thrown in here, some Asian thrown in here, and even a tiny bit of Italian thrown in here. And when those things get together, they make a super hurricane of flavors in your mouth. I'm telling you right now, you just wait. So I got a green pepper, and then in the fridge I had some sweet peppers. Now, the green pepper is a must, but the sweet peppers, you don't have to get the little bitty ones like I got at the store. And I'm going to use red, and I'm going to use orange. Now, if you wanted, you can just get a second bell pepper, like a red bell pepper, because they're sweet. So we're just going to chop these babies up, give them a fine dice, just like we did the green one. Get rid of all the seeds. Make sure and get rid of that little membrane, just like we did of the green ones. It's bitter, and we don't want bitter. Look at all the colors. Alrighty, let's add our ground beef. I've made it with turkey, ground turkey, and it's still super good. This is 2 pounds of ground beef. Here are my seasonings: salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Again, don't worry, all measurements and ingredients will be listed in the comments. Finally, celery. You're like, celery? I've never heard of that before. Well, here's the skinny on celery. It has crunch. I'm here to tell you. This goulash is not the mushy mush that maybe you've had in the past. So even though I chop it up finely, it holds up to the cooking process, and it maintains, it softens slightly, but it does maintain a little crunch, so you have texture. We're all about flavor and texture around here. So cut it up into a fine dice. You will not regret this. Moving on. Alright, so I got my hamburger starting to cook here. I put my spices in. Now I dumped in the onion. And we are going to just cook this together until the onions are soft and the meat is no longer pink. Break it up into a pretty good crumble. Now that looks good. I'm going to throw this in a colander and let the fat drain out. Now I'm using the same pan, obviously. So we're going to put a little bit of oil in here and then we're going to throw in our peppers. And to help them cook, of course, we're going to add a little pinch of salt. And we want to season as we go. And that is just the beginning of the crazy seasoning we're going to do with this goulash. And that's what makes it delish. Now, just before your peppers get completely soft, you want to add your celery. Trust me, they are going to hang on. They're going to hold up to this cooking process. What's next, I wonder? Let's clear a little spot in the middle there. Break up that one little big piece of pepper. Let's add a very heavy-handed tablespoon of tomato paste. Now, you think we'd add liquid at this point to help dissolve it, but we're not. We're going to stir it around because once you cook tomato paste in the bottom of a semi-dry skillet, it really brings out the flavor. Now here's 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And you know with garlic you want to keep the stirring going because you don't want it to burn. Brown and burnt garlic turns bitter, and we don't like bitter. There's nothing bitter in this dish. Let's keep going. What's next? That is paprika, Hungarian paprika. And that is just a wee bit of cayenne pepper. Now you don't have to put it in there. If you don't like it spicy, you can leave it out. It's just fine. But what we're doing here is the dry ingredients, we're going to stir them around and heat them up. And what that does is it reacts to the heat and it wakes them up and makes them bloom. And then that, of course, spreads throughout everything else that's in there. Here's my secret. Gojuchang. If you're not familiar with gojuchang, you can get it at any store now. It's just a Korean chili paste. And it's not super hot, it just has a little tang and a little heat. Just a little heat, not much. But it has tons of flavor. This is soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. That may sound weird, but in goulash it really works. It so does. Can't explain it. Now look at this. Look at that deep red. All those flavors combining in there. Doesn't that just already look good? So we're going to put our meat and our onions back inside, and we're going to stir them around until the meat gets fairly coated. You don't want any pockets of that concentrated flavor. You want it spread out throughout. This is Worcestershire sauce. ground beef and Worcestershire sauce, they go together like peas and carrots. They are so good together. And it just gives another level of depth to this already multi-level flavor profile I'm working on here. Now that is a can of tomato sauce. What we're going to do is I'm going to fill that can up that I just emptied with water. We're going to get all the remnants of that sauce out of the can, and plus we're going to need it. We're going to need water to cook the pasta at the end. That's just a can of diced tomatoes, followed by a second can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Don't drain nothing out. And then finally a can of diced tomatoes with peppers, otherwise known as Rotell. Now with that can of Rotell, it's a smaller can, but I'm going to fill it with water too, because we've got to have, like I said, enough water in here to cook our pasta. Next, Italian seasoned blend. Just basic Italian seasoned blend. It just adds a little bit more. And then this is another one. This is a half a cup of ketchup. What the ketchup does is it adds a little sweetness to it. And when I'm telling you right now, it's so good. So a little bit of sweetness and a little more depth of flavor. Because we all know tomato sauce by itself can be pretty bland. And this goulash is anything but. Now I'm stirring it around and I'm thinking, it kind of looks like cooked chili, doesn't it? So for me, that's just a bit too thick. So I'm going to add 1 more cup of water. And there it is. Stir it around. Now then, we bring this up to a boil. Give it a good stir to make sure everything's loosey-goosey and nothing's stuck to the bottom, and it's not. Then we're going to slap a lid on it, and we are going to let this simmer on medium heat for 30 minutes. This is a necessary step. So 30 minutes, all the flavors are combining like a mad dog right now. Look at this. 30 minutes later, it's really going pretty good. We're going to add our pasta. Now there's a secret to the pasta as well. Get a quality pasta. I'm using Barilla, and I'm adding elbow macaroni, a whole pound plus 1 cup. Because this makes a pot. This is going to feed a big family. And plus, I guarantee you this, any leftovers will be snacked on either the same night or the very next day. And you won't waste a bit of this. So here's another secret to the pasta. Remember I talked about mushy goulash? That ain't for me. I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to let it go for 8 minutes. That's it. 8 minutes, and then I'm going to test it. And if it's still, the pasta's still too hard, then do another minute and check it every 60 seconds. But finally, it looks like this. So the pasta is cooked al dente, or just before done. I turn my heat off, and I put a lid on it, and I let it sit for like 8 minutes to set up. 8 to 10. Because in 10 minutes, we are going to eat the crap out of this pot of goulash. Well, let's plate this baby up. Are you excited? I know I was. We have dinner crew here every Thursday. Not here, but we have dinner crew every Thursday, and we trade houses every week. And everyone at dinner crew last night, they really enjoyed this a lot. So we're just going to put that down, maybe a little more, because you know I'm going to need it. Then we're going to break out the cheddar cheese. Optional, but it really is a good garnish to go on top. Perfect. A little piece of cheese bread toast on the side, and we've got something. Would you just look at it? Hey, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you make it, let me know in the comments. Guy Fieri has Flavor Town, but this came straight out of Yum City. So, have a great day. Peace out.